Alright, I'm also recording this for YouTube, so we're just going to go ahead and just dive right into it so then I can also post this. So this is mainly to help my boy with his executions and stuff like that. So make sure everything's good here, and we should be all good. Audio's good. I'm going to make sure audio's good. I'm just going to do a small back testing stream really fast because I just want to help my boy out with the executions. And then I'm also going to post this on YouTube. So just go ahead and dive into it. I'm just going to do a week of data. I'm just going to do a singular week of data, and then I am going to just call it because, yeah. Okay. Let me turn this down a little bit. There we go. Okay, we can dive right into it now. Coming into the day, what can we see here on our 4 hour? We can see we're respecting bullish, disrespecting bearish. We have clear buy side right here. So I want to mark this out. Since we're presuming bearish, I'd like to see us continue this. Let's see if we have any hourly gaps that we could be respecting here. We have this hourly gap here. We have this sell side here. These stacked lows here. It's the first thing I always do. Mark out my high time frame draws of liquidity. When I come into the market, we can see here, okay, we're obviously a little contingent on what we want to do on the higher time frame. So it kind of looks like we want to sweep this and then maybe go up to this buy side here. Let's see if we have this 30-minute that we're respecting. See if we have some 15-minute here. So we have this hourly gap where we are respecting here. Let's see if we have like a 4 hour above on ES. We've inversed this 4 hour. 4 hour does, I want to presume bullish. And then we have a previous day high as our buy side liquidity here. So nice. Okay. We want to see what confirms that. We're respecting this 30-minute. I kind of want to just wait for price to be a little bit more clear. Get both on the 5 minutes. We are okay. We've inversed this 15 minutes. So now I just want to see one of these levels get swept first. If we could sweep back down here and then continue reacting off of this. However, I'd like to see like a new 15-minute gap get opened in all reality. Okay. So we're rejecting off of this hourly. A sweep up here would be nice. You have this 15-minute as well. And now we have this 5-minute here. Looks like we immediately get this inverse here, but we're going to be operating in this 5-minute gap, so I just want to wait for more confirmation here. Okay, we're sweeping. We've now swept this liquidity. We're now back up here in this hourly gap. We've now swept this liquidity in this gap, so I'm assuming we kind of probably just want to presume bullish here. This hourly gap is holding here. We can see on ES that hourly gap doesn't exist. Actually, we are closing bullish off of that, and then we also have this bullish SMT here. We've taken this liquidity on ES. NQ has not taken this liquidity, so this just means that I kind of want to presume more bullish here. I really want to know if you guys can chat in here, bruh. I really want to know. I think this is where the chat would go, but I just don't know. So we'll just see. Respecting this, I'd like to open a 15-minute here. If we could open this 15-minute, that'd be nice. We'll open this 15-minute at 10 a.m. Oh wow, and we immediately get disrespected. We've swept this, and then now we inverse this 5-minute here. Kind of just want to wait for what we want to do. Okay, so if we can, we've left all of these lows intact now. ES has done the same thing. Actually, we've edged that hourly gap up here. Bearish SMT here. We've swept liquidity. We're still reacting off of these gaps here. This 1 hour gap is holding. So I'd like to see a trade to the sell side here. Like to see how this 5-minute reacts. We now have this 5-minute. Now the only thing that I don't like is we are in this 15-minute chop kind of. We're kind of just, but now we've swept this liquidity. So if we could get our distribution off here, that would be nice. So we tap into our 5 minute here, and then we get a 1 minute IFEG here. Let's see if that's our highest time frame. So this trade doesn't look terrible. This is just a spot. This is just a time and spot here where, and then we also have 945 low here. We could get a nice little open low high close. I just don't like how we're chopping. Hourly is just in this chop. We have swept liquidity, and we are reacting bearish off of these gaps. As you can see, we can see the hourly time frame reacting bearish off of these gaps. So now we do get this inversion here. This is probably something I'm gonna fade here. We'll just tape read this, and then we'll see how this plays out, because I'm not a fan of this. I think this could play out. I just don't like, we're in super chop here. Here's where I'd go break even here, just getting the 1-to-1. So bam, break even and TP. And you could have held all the way down here because we have this just super nice stacked up lows here. But yeah, you can see this is what I do every single day. I literally wait. We can see we now have swept liquidity inside this 1 hour that we're respecting, right? And then we presuming bullish. I don't like how choppy we are. I'd probably fade this live market. But you can see we swept liquidity. We continue holding this 15-minute gap here. Then we open a new condition, 5 minute. If we can respect this, I'd want to trade lower. We get our 1 minute inversion, and then you can take that to the sell side. Just like that, okay? So now that we've respected this 5 minute, we're presuming bearish because we've swept liquidity. We are holding this 15-minute gap. So now this up here becomes high resistant. We have these stacked up lows here. We have super nice AMD structure where we sweep this, and we can expect when we sweep liquidity, hold bearish gaps, and we get the close all the way below the bearish gap. This confirms our DOL to the opposite side. Okay, this is going to confirm our DOL to the opposite side. Okay, we get our inversion, very nice inversion, immediate reaction off the 5 minute into our inversion with lots of stacked up lows, super clear AMD structure. With this being a redistribution, I'd probably just go for the 1-to-1 because we could sweep this liquidity and then continue higher, or you could just go break even and target all the way to these lows. And that's what we do here. And you can see we take the low, and then bam, see. So this trade was super good. We take our draw, and then we start moving higher. So pretty good trade. Now we have swept liquidity in this 1 hour, and then we get this 5 minute inversion. However, I don't like 5 minute inversions. I'd rather wait for a new 5 minute to be formed. So okay, nice. Now we've opened a new 5 minute, and now I assume we want to target the opposing DOL. 4 hour is still in this chop. We're respecting these gaps on the 4 hour chart. We've now swept liquidity inside of this hourly here. I wouldn't really trade off of this hourly. This is just a butt key level. It's just tiny, and we've tapped into it a bunch, but we are rejecting going higher. We're rejecting going higher off these gaps and off these gaps. So this trade now wouldn't really mean much to me, but we open this 5 minute, we tap into it. We have a 2 minute. Wow, we get a resweep. Wow, we get a resweep into this 5 minute here, and then we get super nice close higher. In all reality, this really isn't even a bad trade either, low key. The only thing that I don't like about this trade and why I wouldn't take this trade, we're still in this chop, right? And we're rejecting going higher so much. That's why I thought the short was so good. We have these stacked up draws here, and now this here is just swept liquidity. So I'd assume, especially at 10:30 after now, we've swept liquidity up here. We're targeting swept liquidity. Okay, so we're not targeting an abundance of liquidity like down here, right? We have all this unswept liquidity, right? And then we come down and we take it off of this 5 minute. But so I don't think this will if this plays out too, that'd be pretty crazy. But you can see here we did the same thing. Now we have our high time frame sweep inside of a gap, and we've reacted off of it. We open a 5 minute continuation gap, and then we got to trade off of that. However, I don't like this because we are targeting swept liquidity, but yeah, you get stopped out on that. I really well, this is why I always say it. You take one trade and then you get off for the day, because now you can see we're in this 5-minute chop. We've been chopping the whole session. We get our good AMD's trade, and then now we're just gonna chop. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go to the next day. Continue the little flow. But I'm about to take my ass to bed after this. I'm tired as hell. And we got a good shuggy in. Good shuggy. All right. Holy fucking moly, yo. Okay, so wow, we've just dumped. We had 6 a.m. candle is 190 points. So I would ideally like to continue this. Yep, same thing here. Swept this liquidity. We really don't have anything really much. I wouldn't presume this 4 hour as something too crazy. I'd presume, let's see if we have like some hourly swings or anything. We have this swing here. So I'd say this is our sell side liquidity. However, with this huge move overnight, I'd either want to get like a mech trade to rebalance the leg, or I would want a some kind of, probably just no trade today with how much we've dumped overnight. So let's go to our hourly 30-minute here. So we have this 30-minute that we're going to tap into probably as soon as market opens here. But now anything with this huge dump overnight, right? We've had our structure where we've swept liquidity and then we've distributed lower. So it's already happened, right? So you can presume that this session now is kind of just going to be butt. Let's see how the first 5-minute opens. See how this first 5-minute closes. Okay, so at 9:30 doesn't do shit. I'm waiting for us to tap into this. Or we also have, we're going to open an hourly at 10 a.m. So I'd probably just want to wait for that to then get this trade lower. However, our sell side liquidity is 130 points away, but we could still see something, right? It is New York session. We are getting an injection of volatility. So let's just see. Okay, we tap into this 30-minute. Ideally, I'd like to see a better hourly retrace here just to come up to better to equilibrium of this range. This candle hasn't closed yet, so you really can't mark this out as our low, but for this sake I will, right? And this is all the way, this is EQ of this 1 hour leg here to just get a good premium for sellers here at this point. But we could potentially see a trade off this 30-minute with how bearish we are, but we'll just see. Maybe we want to get the resweep. Okay, I like that. We're kind of just playing around here. We're not opening gaps. So this is a sign of bad choppy price action. Not even opening. And this would be better maybe if there was some kind of high time frame PDA here. There isn't though. We're just reacting off of these wicks. You could say rejection block, whatever. And I think a trade up to the 30-minute isn't bad. However, that's just not how I trade. Like this here, but then your R is cooked. You know what I mean? And that's just a super invalid trade for me because I want to see trades off of higher time frame PDAs, right? So now I'd like to see a trade lower off of this 30-minute, right? So we can see. Maybe tap into this 15-minute, but let's just see what we want to do here. I kind of want to wait for 10 a.m. So it looks like get 10 a.m. open. Okay, yeah. So now I'd just wait for this to get tapped into this hourly gap here. Once we tap into this hourly gap, we can get a way better premium, for sellers at this point. So let's kind of just see what we want to do here. Get rid of this. Okay, we've tapped into this hourly, so now shorts now looks good. We have generated liquidity, right? Higher time frame is definitely bearish, as we can see. So now, and this is the point where I'd be looking for the trade. ES is also tapped into this 1 hour. We could want a deeper retrace, but now with what we're looking like, we do get this inversion off rip, and we do have, where's 930 highs or 930 lows? I mean. So we do have 930 lows here. This could be all the rebalance that we want. I think this is completely fine, honestly, if we want to continue dumping. I don't like how we've had this huge dump and then swept a lot of liquidity with sell side being this far. But let's see what we want to do here. I hope we don't open this 5 minute. I'd want to see our 3 minutes going to be our highest time frame inversion. So did we get that? No, we didn't. Okay, looks like, okay, we opened a 5 minute and now it looks like we're respecting this. So let's just see what we want to do here. We get a deeper retrace because the structure doesn't look bad now. I don't want to see this 15 minute get inversed. It's also 10:25 now at this point. We have this new 3 minute gap here, just generated liquidity. This 5 minutes holding off nothing, so it's really not too big of a worry for me, in all honesty. I don't want to see this 3 minute get inversed. Okay, it looks like we do want to just go higher here, and we have inversed this, but I'm assuming we just want to get a nice retrace, you know. Holy moly, okay. All right. Okay, so this is nice. Now we've opened this 15 minute gap here. So if we want to presume bullish, we're still in this hourly gap. We're not really getting reaction off of it. Still in this 30 minute gap. We've closed through this 30 minute gap. A mech trade here though would not be bad though, in my opinion. I'd want to see us rebalance the range. We have the 15 minute gap opening here. This is not terrible. Especially like now we have this overextended leg lower time frame, and then our higher time frame is flipping bullish. So if we really want to do, we also have this hourly gap up here, right? So we'll just see how we can play this. What's our highest time frame inversion here? It's going to be this 2 minute. Let's see. Okay, we get the 2 minute close here. I don't like how we're dilly-dallying. That's really the only thing. It's also 10:57. We're just going to tape read this mech here. This is something I want to take. A mech model at literally 11 a.m. after we've just ripped. It doesn't look terrible though, but not the greatest fan of it also. So yeah, and then we'd also have to do this. We really couldn't even get the 1-to-1. We could put our thing up here, right? But we're kind of reacting off of this. We're getting reaction. We're not really reacting off of the 30 minute though. We're kind of just been pumping through it, right? So now I want to presume bearish, but to be bearish, or to be bullish, I mean, we have to get distribution in this 15 minute. So if we want to continue being bullish, this 15 minute kind of has to get tapped to rebalance this leg to then go lower. But at 10:57, I don't know, not a huge fan. Yeah, so instantly stopped out. Looks like we probably opened a, nah, not even. So yeah, and that's why we tape read, because didn't really like that trade, but wanted to get some data on it. Okay, let's go to the next day. Okay. Holy shit, bro. Yeah, so we did just continue dumping. Okay. So we have this 4 hour down here. We also have a 4 hour up here. These are potential spots where we've tapped into this 4 hour now, so we could get reaction off of this. And then we also have a 4 hour above. So let's go down to our lower time frame and see what we're doing on there. Probably have a 15 minute gap here. No, nothing. 30 minute gap, nothing. We do have liquidity leading up to this 4 hour gap. So let's see how we want to proceed here. Maybe, I don't know. This just looks like super chop. Yeah, just super chop, bro. I'd like to see us open a 15-minute or something. Okay, we're tapping back into this 4-hour here. We open this 5-minute. We get this 1-minute inversion off up to this 5-minute. Hold up, let me go back a little bit. Let's go back to this inversion here, because let's see how we're reacting off of this 4-hour. Yeah, I don't really like how we're going through the 4-hour. I'd rather just wait for, I don't know, because you're trying to look at this huge dump and you're trying to catch a rebalance to that. I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan. I'd rather just wait for something different to happen. We'll tape read this mech though for sure. Break even in this 5-minute. We get our 1-minute inversion. Reacting kind of, yeah, we have these we also tapped into this 1-hour gap, and we're starting to get reaction off of that. However, we're just super fucking bullet bearish, I mean. So in reality, I'd like to see this 15-minute get opened, and then honestly, if we could open a 5-minute or get reaction off of this 4-hour, I'd want to take a trade up to this 4-hour, but conditions are just looking hella ass right now. So we have this little mech trade here. See how this plays out. I'd be break even, and we TP'd on that. That's insane, low key. Okay, so a little TP. We've now opened this 15-minute. See what we want to do here. We've tapped into this 15-minute. See how we want to react off that. Okay, quite bearishly. We get this little 2-minute inversion. However, I don't like this trade because your DOL is just buns. Your DOL is swept liquidity in a high time frame gap. If you can see, like we've swept out so much liquidity. Our next target is quite far away, around 70 points away. So not the greatest. Not a trade that I would be willing to take. But we do have this 15-minute. I just don't like, if I was wanting to take this off the 15-minute, I want to see this liquidity up here get taken to just have a more high probability condition, right? Or a high probability scenario. However, yeah, and then we can see we've opened, no. Our highest time frame inversion here is going to be this 4-minute. That we are inside, so it would be invalid to take this 2-minute. I mean, if you're super bearish, I guess it could happen. Let's see if ES is tapped into that 4-hour. So we haven't at all, and we have equal highs at this 4-hour above. Now we are super bearish, right? And our DOL is not super far away, and you can see like we are just dumping. But I'd want to see better close through this, and you can see now that we're kind of reacting off these gaps, this imbalance here. Maybe if we could get a close lower or something. It all just depends on. Let's just see how we react off of this. If we get our inversion, yeah. So we don't. Might have a new. Get a deeper retrace into this. EQ is holding, so I do like to see that. We opened this 5-minute. Oh, we actually do have a 5-minute now, so kind of washed. Yeah. 10:30 now. Yeah, and we're just kind of doing fuck all. Yeah. Okay. Good thing I didn't trade today. Today's ass. All right, this is the last day I'm gonna do because I need to take my ass to bed so I can get up for the gym tomorrow. But I will upload this on YouTube. Definitely gonna upload this on YouTube. So don't even worry, bruh. Don't even worry, bro. Don't even worry. I'm going to upload this on YouTube. The rest of them I'm not going to upload on YouTube. When I come in and I do these, they're not going to be on YouTube. But I'm going to do the last day for my boy right quick because I'm just doing this to help my boy out. Okay. So now we have hella liquidity leading up to this 4-hour. So I'd really like to see a trade up to this 4-hour. We've inversed this 4-hour. So let's just see. 4-hour still looks pretty. Okay. Yeah, hella liquidity leading up to this. We are starting to get bullish momentum here. We have this 1 hour gap here that we've immediately tapped into. So this could be a pretty good day where I actually take a trade. Let's see what our 15 minute is looking like. Okay, nice. Let's see how we open off the 5 minute. Okay, so we open this. It's 10:40 already now. We get a tap into this 1 hour. We're rejecting this 1 hour. Very nice. Look at all these highs that we have leading up to here. We have London highs right here as well. Clear buy side above, right? We have this 1 hour. This 1 hour can push price higher. That's what I'd like to ideally see here. Let's see how ES wants to react off of that. Okay, well that doesn't exist here, so let's just see, because I want both pairs to be in a good spot to distribute, right? We can sweep this liquidity. Nope, we've inversed this gap already. So let's just see what we want to do here. Yeah, just chop. Sweeping this 5 minute now. Not sponsored off of anything though. Yeah, and we're just dumping lower here. You're gonna open this at 10:30 here. But we do have this 15 minute, but there's really just no DOL lower besides all the way down here, which is actually not that far away, so might not be terrible. I just don't like that we're rejecting going higher so much. We just don't have a high time frame PDA other than this 15 minute if we get it when we open it. So we've tapped into this 15 minute now. I just don't know, bro. Like, we've kind of had our, yeah, I don't know. Let's see what ES is looking like. ES hasn't tapped into there. Let's see what we can do here. You have our 2 minute. Nice. Holy shit. Okay, so is that our highest time frame inversion? Yeah, well, it's gonna be this 3 minute, but with this how bearish we are, we're just bleeding out. I'd probably rip this 2 minute. Look at the displacement. We have a sweep inside. We have a 5 minute gap we tap into. Sweep liquidity. Very nice. Yeah, it's very clear we want to go lower here. I just don't like the dump. That's really the only thing I don't like. 11's gonna open this new gap. Yeah, it's not till 11. So the rejection higher is nice. We now have this 15 minute condition. We have a 30 minute all the way up here, but if this 5 minute is getting this much like reaction off of it, then I'd presume bearish to these lows. Okay, and that's how you can use conditions to like form you a trade. Okay, and for this sake, I will take the highest time frame inversion. We get this 3 minute IFEG here. The only thing that I don't really like about this trade, obviously, is DOL not super far away, but price has been bleeding out this whole time. Right now it's 10:40, and we're getting a inversion off of this 15 minute, where ES hasn't inversed it at all. Or not inversed it, but we also do have these relatively equal lows on ES, so I do like that. Yeah, what the hell? Bro joined up and instantly left. What a dog. We haven't tapped the 15 minute. I kind of want to see ES tap into both of those. However, we may not really need to. I just don't think we're gonna deliver as strongly as I'd like. So with the fact of how much we dumped, I'm gonna fade this as well. But this could probably play out. I'd like to see. Okay, nice. We got the resweep. ES is tapped into the 15 minute. We've generated the liquidity. Now is the time where we could actually see a trade. Oh, it's fucking 11, bruh. Yeah, we're just doing bullshit. Yo, okay. Alright, I'm going to end it there. I love y'all boys, man. I'm going to upload this on YouTube. I'm going to take my ass to bed. But this was how to use conditions to find entries for my boy, Donnie. I love you, bro. If you watch this all the way to the end, bro, I'm going to kiss you. Love. All right. Peace out, yo.